Because of my lifestyle, I was my health was greatly affected, and I was actually abusing my stomach. Hence, during the Pigu technique, I was actually given the opportunity to allow my stomach to have a good rest. And through this Pigu technique, you can actually change your diet and mindset regarding good diets. One of the biggest surprise was that every morning during the morning practice of Pigu, I can actually interact with my intestine. And then every morning when I wake up, I can actually massage my intestine. And I can actually see my breath improving after my morning practice of Pigu. And bowel movement actually improved a lot, especially in the morning after the morning practice of Pigu technique. So this time around, my after the Pigu technique, I actually was able to reduce by a total of 4 kg. As long as you follow master instruction, you are sure be able to reduce your weight and also your waistline. Besides that, you are actually able to allow your intestines and stomach to take a good break. So, hi everyone, I'm instructor Kai Yun. So this is my third round of joining Pigu, and every time when I conduct this Pigu technique, okay, I was able to actually reduce my weight and also my waistline. And previously, because of her minor operation on her teeth, she actually had a lot of medication, and every because of severe medication too, or because of too much medication, it caused blurriness to her mind, which actually affected her brain health. And after practicing Pigu, okay, the latest practice, okay, she was able to slowly recover from the blurriness of her mind. So in the latest Pigu session, she was able to reduce by a total of 3 kg and about 2 inches of waistline. And recently, she actually accumulated her pants, okay, her pants that could not fit anymore. But after Pigu, to her surprise, all of these old pants, which is too small for her, was actually the perfect fit for her right now because she's slimmed down after the latest Pigu. And although during the Pigu period, okay, she reduced the the amount of food that she intake and also the strong taste, but she still feel good and happy. And the Pigu, okay, she noticed that her diet actually changed naturally by itself. Right, previously she loves to eat strong taste food, but after Pigu, she started to enjoy eating bland food, which she can actually truly taste the original taste of the ingredients. So hence, no, she actually gets to reduce a lot of those artificial flavorings in her food. And her taste bud actually becomes more sensitive after Pigu, whereby no, the body will actually automatically reject those artificial taste food or artificial flavorings. Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Instructor Hua and also Master Bai Yin. Hi, evening, everyone. Good evening. So I'm very happy that day that we get to meet online again. So do you notice both master and instructor are looking very vibrant today? So for today's technique, okay, is a technique that after you finish your practice, you look young. Your complexion will glow like master and the instructor. And after practicing this technique, okay, your whole body will start to shine and bling bling. You have this bling bling effect. So for today's technique, is for today's introduction, it will be for the sound therapy and also the detox chi or the Pigu technique in Mandarin. So for those of you who wants to know more about Pigu, this is the general introduction by Master. So after you finish practicing your Pigu, your complexion will improve, whereby you can see the natural shine coming off from your complexion, and you no longer have those grayish, complexion. Not only just the skin, but also your overall the overall cleanliness of your intestines. Because doing one round of Pigu is equivalent to doing one round of cleanup inside within your intestines and also doing a reset to your immune system. So this is one of the major effects of doing the practicing the Pigu Gong. So for those of you who has already registered for the class, regardless of old or new students, just type in me, okay? Just type me in the group chat because master would like to see how many old students who have old or new students who has already registered. Now, for those of you who have not registered for the class, okay, for this upcoming Pigu technique, you can just reply future, okay? Just reply future in the group chat, sorry, in the chat because master would like to know how many would like to join after listening to today's talk. So for today's talk is about the introduction about Liu Ying and Pigu. So previously last time when we practiced the Pigu technique, okay, there are actually no sound therapy. So sound therapy is something new which actually just was just introduced a few years ago. So hence this is actually quite new to a lot of students. So for those of you who have learned Pigu but have not learned Liu Ying, you just need to attend you can attend both, but you can attend Pigu as a revision and Pigu as something new for you. And last time there's no Liu Ying is because last time previously our diet, our thinking is actually more innocent compared to now. Especially nowadays during the past few years, you notice the world is getting more and more violent, crazier, more intense. The relationship between humans are getting more and more intense. So hence that's why master finds the need to actually enhance the effect of Pigu. So hence that's why the sound therapy was created in order for the students to actually gain better effect after practicing Pigu because um, you will first learn the sound therapy first before you practice Pigu. And master finds that after you practice sound therapy, it can actually helps with your Pigu process because you will not be too nervous and you can actually complete the whole Pigu program easily within without feeling too hungry or not having too much and worries because after attending the sound therapy, it will actually help to relax your guts and your intestines. So hence you will not have too much of hunger pangs or worry or anxiety during the time when you attend the Pigu. Because last time the Pigu is actually even longer. The period is longer. And without Pigu, some students might have some worry, some anxiety because they do not know what to expect. So hence right now after learning sound therapy, you are actually reconnecting the connection between our gut and our brain. There's actually a connection between our gut and our brain. So they are actually like a siblings. Our gut and our brain is actually like a sibling. So off and on, the gut and the brain will connect with each other. They'll call each other. So sometimes even for us human, we tend to like now when we have problems or off and on, we'll tend to call our siblings and share what's happening around us. You know what's happening nowadays. But if let's say the gut and brain connection is interrupted or is slow or you can't connect well, then it will cause anxiety or there might be connection issues with your gut and brain. For example, previously your siblings tends to call you quite often. Then after a period of time the call gets less and less or the reply is late or you did not answer the call or the brain totally ignore the gut. So hence these are the once this happen it will cause problems like irregular blood sugar level or blood pressure problem. So in fact actually the ancient people already actually knew that there's actually a connection between the brain and the gut, but only recently that through the advancement of technology that the western medicine they actually found this connection which actually truly exists because our happiness or your anxiety or your worry are actually all connected to the health, the current condition of your gut. Okay, because the gut is actually the second brain because the gut will send signals to our brain. So if for example your gut is unhealthy or as no your intestine is dirty, it's filled with old feces, okay, and then it's unhealthy, the connection will be connection from your gut to your brain will be affected. Hence, when this is affected, it will actually also affect your mood. Okay, not just your digestive system, it will also affect your mood. And after practicing your Pigu, you are actually able to not only cleanse your intestines of these old pools or of these impurities, but it can also improve the signals between your gut and your brain. And additionally, because of because of the easier exposure of knowledge, people tend to take a lot of enzyme or probiotics. But in fact, if your gut and your intestine is filled with bad bacteria or is filled with blockages, no matter how much enzyme or probiotics that you consume, it will be useless because it's like just a drop of water on the sea, which is clogged, which is dirty. So hence it's useless for you. So hence the best time to consume probiotics and enzyme is after you attend the Pigu technique, after your intestine is clean. So when your emotion is bad, when you're down, you actually it will affect the production of the good bacteria within your intestine. And instructor, you have also seen in documentary that there's a certain parasite. Okay, there's a certain parasite that it will affect the brain to actually control your actions. So within the documentary, it mentions that there's a kind of parasite that will latch itself into a snail. So when it latch itself into the snail, it will give a command, okay, to the brain of the snail to actually allow the snail to actually walk towards open area to allow the birds to eat them. Okay, why? Because the moment the birds eat them and when they poop, okay, they are able to spread. The parasites are able to spread to another area, to go to another area. So hence this actually, no, actually, although it might be a surprise, but this actually truly exists. This kind of parasites truly exist, and it's not only within the animals, but it's actually also exists within us humans. That's why if your gut is unhealthy, it will affect your mindset, it will affect your emotion, it will affect your actions, it will affect your thinking. And through the sound therapy, master will teach you how to produce out 6 different types of sound to actually synchronize with your brain and your organs. So this special sound will actually cause synchronization with what you hear with your ear, and it will be linked to your organs. So the first step in your sound therapy is to actually produce this special sound. So although we tend to speak, we tend to talk, but the vibration is different compared to this special sound wave which is created when you know what how to do it, which can actually help to synchronize with our organs and calm our organs. So another question by the students is, I've already learned the 5 element rejuvenation or the energy intermediate. Why should I learn the sound therapy? One of the big difference, although both will affect your organs, but both has a different effect. Okay, because sound therapy will synchronize sound with your brain wave. Okay, which actually commands your organ. Whereas for the 5 element rejuvenation or energy intermediate tends more to actually heal you from the organs itself, just that 5 particular organ. Okay, so hence the effect is different. It doesn't 5 element rejuvenation or energy intermediate doesn't cure or doesn't affect connection between our gut and our brain. So hence, in other words, okay, sound therapy is more towards the healing of the brain or the reconnection of the connection between our brain and our gut. This is the main thing that no, the sound therapy will solve. Whereas for 5 element rejuvenation or energy intermediate, the main focus is just on the 5 main organs of the body to make it balance, to rebalance the yin and yang between these 5 main organs. So, okay, for 5 element rejuvenation, for example, for a 5 element rejuvenation, you already know which is your weakest organ. or you already know what kind of symptoms you have right now, what kind of illness you have right now. So during your practice, you can actually practice certain techniques to actually counter this illness. For example, you're having sinus or you have cough right now, or you are feeling unwell. Okay, so you can practice more of tiger form to counter this sinus and cough. So you know what technique to practice particularly to counter the illness or weakness of particular organs. And this technique can be practiced by itself without any interruption. For example, right now there are a lot of students who um, after injecting the latest COVID injection. Okay, there are a lot of students who actually get the side effects from the COVID medication, whereby the vaccine, whereby you have brain fog, you cannot think properly, or your brain is slow, and or you tend to think too much. You have too much anxiety, or you worry too much. So at this point of time, the best technique to practice is to what? Is to practice sound therapy to clear away this brain fog. Or some, it might even affect your diet or your appetite. Why? Because you worry too much, so hence that's why you lose your appetite, and then your digestive system is affected. So this sound therapy, practically speaking, is to actually to complement with the Pigu technique so that it can actually improve your digestive system. Because one of the main difference is that last time previously you just particularly counter immediately to your the condition of your stomach to improve your digestive system, but this time around, okay, through the practice of sound therapy, you shall first fix the connection between your gut and your brain, so that next time in the future when you practice, when you're ready, and when you practice the Pico technique, it'll be easier and the effect will come much faster compared to you only practice Pico technique alone. Why? Because once this connection of your brain and your gut is good, okay, one call by the brain or one call by the gut, okay, you will immediately respond. So hence that's why the effect will be much faster compared to when you practice Pigu alone. So hence previous session of Pigu technique for the old students who only learn Pigu technique, some of them, like I said, some of them, especially those who has more severe problem, for example, they have gastric or they have they have hunger pangs. Okay, this time around, after you practice the sound therapy, okay, you can actually easily avoid all of these problems, because before the start of Pico, your brain is already ready for it. And because of hunger pangs or because of worry of their irregular blood sugar level or high blood pressure during the period of Pico, some students will tend to be scared of Pico. Why? Because every time they do Pico, they think of this difficulty that might face. But because of sound therapy right now, okay, this sound therapy will actually help to ease a lot of these problems for those who are going to join who's going to learn the Pico technique. So there are actually a lot of there are also some students who actually has a problem with their weight, okay, whereby they easily gain weight or they easily lose weight, and because then this might happen also because of their emotion, and regardless of what type of medication that they eat, that they consume, they cannot reduce their weight or they cannot gain weight. So this will become a major problem or major worry for them. So this New Yin technique, the sound therapy, can actually help students with such a problem. Why? Because this kind of nervousness, this kind of mentality can actually be eased down when the connection between your gut and your brain is improved. So usually for example for beginner level, okay, usually the beginner and intermediate is actually very close. So usually the intermediate level is 1 to 2 weeks after beginner. Why? Because master would like to boost the qi flow within our body to clear the blockages. Whereas the technique for uh, Pigu and also the sound therapy is actually longer. It's usually about 1 to 2 months. So in between is because it's also to allow your brain to actually get ready before you enter into Pigu technique. So this is also one of the difference between Pigu technique and sound therapy compared to your normal essential courses, for example, Yang Qi or Energy. So hence that's why for sound therapy is to first calm your mind before you heal your intestines or your organs. So this is a pre-preparation. Okay, pre-preparation before okay you enter into the Pico technique. So this sound therapy and Pico technique, okay, the main purpose is not just to reduce your weight or reduce your waistline. Although yes, this can be this can be seen, okay, and this actually happens to everyone whereby you will slim down and then your waistline will reduce. But that's actually a bonus. Why? Because practicing Pico and Liu Ying, the main purpose is, for example, practicing the sound therapy is to improve the connection between your brain and your gut. Whereas practicing the main purpose of practicing Pigu technique is to actually cleanse your intestine, improve your digestive system, improve the body function of nutrients absorption, and also to do a total reset of your immune system. So that is the main purposes of practicing both Liu Ying and also Pigu. But slimming down and also losing weight is actually a bonus you can get from this effect. So hence is why actually this reducing body weight and also sleep waistline is actually just a bonus. Okay, and of course, during the time when you practice the Pigu technique, you defecate a lot. You expel a lot of old stools, which is actually stuck within our large intestines. And after practicing Pigu, okay, your taste and your sense of smell will will be enhanced by many times, and even your vision will actually improve. And some students usually after your lunch you feel tired. Why? Because your blood sugar is irregular. Once your blood sugar goes up in the afternoon after your lunch, you will feel tired and you maybe feel like lying down. So this after practicing Pico, all of these symptoms can be improved. So one of the main purpose again of Pico is to first okay spell out this or old poop or old stools which is stuck within our large intestine. Okay, no matter whether you have constipation or you defecate normally, no matter how there will still be some old stools which is stuck within your large intestine. Hence, therefore, usually during the time when you practice your pigu, your stool, the smell of your stool, the color will be darker, will be the smell will be stronger compared to your usual stool. Why? Because this is what we call the old stool, which is stuck within your organs. Sorry, stuck within your large intestines. So hence, after practicing your Pigu technique, okay, all of this old stool will be expelled out from your body. And once this old stools is expelled from your body, once your intestine is clean, your dantian is also around your large intestine or small intestine area. So have next time in the future, every time when you practice qigong, uh, you always bring the qi back to dantian. Okay, collect the qi back to dantian. So next time in the future, when you bring the qi back to dantian, you'll be able to feel a pulse. Get a pulse on your abdomen or your dantian area or your navel. Why? Because the qi, your once your uh, stomach or abdomen area is free from blockage, is clean, the qi sensation will be enhanced. You will be able to absorb better, absorb more qi. So hence that's why you'll be able to feel this pulse. And once your intestines is cleared, is free from these old stools, you can actually also prevent a lot of future diseases, for example, colon cancer or large intestine cancer. Okay, these two cancer, colon and large intestine cancer, are actually mainly caused by what? Caused by the old stools which is stuck at the corners of our intestines. So hence practicing Pigu can actually cleanse all of these old stools from our body. So hence you can actually prevent all of this future disaster from happening. And of course, like what instructor Yu is saying is after practicing Pigu, okay, her chi senses actually increase a lot, improve a lot, and her sensitivity of her body actually improve a lot. So hence this will actually help her with her practice. Why? Because you can actually enjoy your practice better. Why? Because when you can feel the qi flowing within your body, and when the qi starts to move your body by itself without you exerting too much strength, is when the time that you can truly enjoy your practice. So for today's talk, okay, Master would like to actually uh, give some reminders to the students for the preparation you need to do before your sound therapy and also the Pigu technique. So for the sound therapy, okay, this is a reminder by Master because this music, this sound therapy music is actually created, it's actually composed by Master Bai Yin and together with a very famous musician. So these are all recorded live in a studio. So hence that's why this music will actually helps to actually synchronize. This music will help you to synchronize your brain and body, and it will actually helps to rebalance your left and right brain. So for example, actually once your left and right brain is balanced, okay, you will be more calm, okay, you will not get anxiety, you will not be nervous. So hence before your class, especially sound therapy, master would recommend every students to at least have a good mp3 player or a good music player, okay, because this music will actually truly helps with your practice and affect your practice. And because sound therapy, the movement is actually not too hard, it's actually quite simple, but rather the sound, okay, the vocalization of a specific sound is very important. Hence that's why you need a very quiet environment during the time when you attend the class. So before your class, master would like to remind you to remind your family members or those who are not attending the class to not disturb you during the time of class, because you'll truly need to listen to the music and also listen to your own sound that you actually produce. And additionally, okay, before your sound therapy class, master would like you to reduce, okay, your intake of spicy or strong taste food. Why? Because you're actually slowly getting yourself ready to cleanse your mind, your gut and your brain, and also your intestine in the coming Piku lesson. So hence during the point of time, okay, maybe about a week before your class, okay, don't consume food like maybe strong taste food like asam laksa, spicy, sour food, or bak kut teh, or very strong taste food. You try to avoid strong taste food because after your sound therapy and also Pigu, okay, your brain and gut will be more sensitive, and your intestine will also be more sensitive after your Pigu technique. So hence actually there are actually also a lot of students whereby no, oh, I hear from who and who, or hear from I read from where and where that no, during your practice of Pigu there are a lot of things that I cannot eat, or before that there are a lot of things that I cannot eat, or I cannot eat at all. No, don't worry too much, because during the time when you practice Pigu you are still consuming food. Okay, although you eat less, okay, but you are, no matter how, you are still consuming food. So it's not like you are totally fasting. It's not a total fasting. You still consume food. So don't worry too much about no eating, no, not eating at all. Don't worry about that. So next is the preparation for your Pigu technique. So firstly, remember Pigu is not fasting. So they are actually online, or no, in the classes, okay, the classes that you see which is available in the market, they are actually Pigu lessons. But master would like you to forget whatever Pigu that you learn elsewhere, because in Bai Yin Qigong our Pigu is the real traditional Pigu. Okay, this Pigu is actually a true proper Taoism diet which has been existent for thousands of years. Okay, which has been passed down since thousands of years ago. Okay, Pigu technique. Okay, technique. So the main uh, so it's not just your diet. Okay, if let's say you just follow this diet without the technique, you cannot achieve the same result. And again, Pigu Gong is not to lose weight. Okay, because certain students, for example, when you're too skinny, okay, after practicing Pigu, you don't worry about getting skinnier, because you won't. In fact, it will go so the other way, whereby if let's say you're too skinny, you actually gain weight after your Pigu. For those who are too fat or too heavy, okay, you lose weight after you Pigu. In other words, you return back to your most optimum weight, or your most optimum weight according to your condition after your Pigu technique. Because most of the illness right now that we have is actually due to inflammation within our body. So hence all of this chronic inflammation is cause of our future illness. So hence during your Pigu session, we can actually slowly reduce this inflammation through your diet, through your Pigu technique. Okay, number three. Again, okay, Pigu is not allow you to defecate, because a lot of students tends to worry whether I defecate too much, or if let's say I cannot defecate or defecate too little. So again, as though Pigu is not to allow you to to challenge yourself of hunger pangs. No, because Pigu is not just diet but also have a specific technique, because during the time when you attend Pigu you will still consume food, for example the Pigu juice or Pigu porridge, and you only eat less for 2 days. It's not like you totally don't eat. Okay, you still consume some food, it's just that you eat less for 2 days. So hence that's why a lot of students before your Pigu you tend to get too worried. So hence during the process of doing this Pigu you cause discomfort. So hence that's why right now with sound therapy you can actually help to ease all of these worries, anxiety and discomforts. So another question by the students is, what should I prepare before my Liu Ying and Pigu? So particularly more on Pigu. Okay, so master will just at that point of time when you attend class, okay, master will has actually already prepared a video on things to prepare before your Pico class, because these things that you need to prepare can easily be bought from the market or from the supermarket. So before your class, okay, you just need something simple where I think most families have, for example, a blender to blend the fruits, or you might need to buy some probiotics or enzyme. But even although if let's say you did not prepare this before your Pigu, you can still buy this during your Pigu or after your Pigu. Why? Because these are the ingredients or things which you can easily buy anywhere. So hence that's why you do not need to prepare too early in advance, because all of these ingredients, for example, the vegetables or the fruit, can be bought from the market or supermarket easily. So you do not need to worry about this preparations. Okay. So you can actually just buy these ingredients during the class, because during the class master will give you the recipe or things that you need to buy to prepare the pigu juice and also the pigu porridge. So during the class or after the class you can just go to the market or supermarket and just buy according to the master's list of ingredients. And master also prepared the video on even how to cook. Okay, all of these are recorded and prepared for the students, so you do not need to worry too much about the food. Okay, you just need to put your focus more on the techniques, okay, on learning the technique, because no matter how, pigu is not just pigu diet but pigu technique, which means that there is a technique within it, because your diet is to actually just help with the technique. Okay, your diet is just to supplement the technique. So your main priority is still the technique, because if through the diet itself, even if you drink the pigu soup or pigu juice every day, you cannot achieve the same results as when you practice the pigu technique together with the pigu diet. Okay, because pigu diet is just a supplement to help you with your pigu technique. So no matter how, your priority is the technique, is to learn the pigu technique. Okay, another student who asked a master that do I need to take leave, okay, during the time when I practice the Pigu class or Pigu technique. Because right now in the market, okay, there are actually Pigu classes elsewhere, but all of this, most of this Pigu techniques which is taught elsewhere is actually a retreat whereby you have to go to the mountains or the forest, the place with abundance of tea, and then you have to clear your mind without interacting with anyone. You have to be very calm. Only you can practice Pigu. But in Bai Yin Qigong, our Pigu technique is totally different. So this name Pigu, a lot of people has a misconception of this Pigu technique, because this is a very mysterious technique. Because last time, since ancient times, okay, there are only very little knowledge of this technique. People might have heard of this name before, but the true method, but the true technique is not actually passed down. So hence, actually, the technique that you learn in from Master Bai Yin is actually passed down from the ancestor, from the Taoist ancestor, okay, who actually, which was actually passed down. This knowledge has been passed down by, by the ancestor themselves, and not through understanding from reading or, listening to others. Because what you learn from Master Bai Yin is actually the true, authentic, okay, Pigu Gong, which is passed down from the olden days, Taoist, all the way to now, and not from books, understanding from books or from listening to others. So it's totally different, because the source material for this Pigu technique is not actually written down on any books. So hence most of these Pigu techniques that you see outside are actually through the understanding through of of those individuals who read certain materials of the Pigu technique. So it's not, it might not be true to the purpose of the original authentic Pigu technique. So hence, some certain Pigu technique outside, okay, which is available in the market, when they practice Pigu, they totally do not eat, means total fasting. Okay, whereas in Master Bai Pigu, you still consume food, you still go to work. Okay, it's just to, but the main purpose is just to practice the technique with some some change in your diet to actually help with your life, which actually helps to improve your lifestyle. But one very important thing is you have to remember, during the time when you practice Qigong, you must not do any appointment for lunch or dinner. Why? Because if you go for lunch or dinner appointment, you might be just sitting there and looking at others eating. Or if let's say you cannot tahan, cannot endure it and you eat, then you might need to start from zero again. As in you need to practice the whole process again. And another thing that you need to take note is during the time when you practice Pigu Gong, you must not go for checkup, medical checkup, any medical checkup. Because during this time when you are practicing Pigu, your overall well-being will fluctuate. For example, your blood sugar, your high blood pressure, your condition will fluctuate. Why? Because your body is now readjusting itself, realigning itself. So hence, the best time to go for checkup is after, maybe a few days after or a week after your Pico technique. Then you can go for the checkup because the condition has already stabilized. And of course, during the time when you attend a Pigu session or when you're doing the Pigu therapy, okay, you have to avoid sports, okay, especially sports like badminton, volleyball, basketball, those that use a lot of energy or sweat a lot. You have to avoid this kind of sports. Okay, another question from students is whereby if let's say you have menses, can I uh, learn or practice Pigu? So right now with the latest revision of Pigu, okay, usually you have no worries about menses when you practice Pigu, except for some particularly very few students who has a very severe outflux of blood flow, then you might need to consult master. But other than that, usually you have no problem practicing Pigu or learning Pigu when you have menses. So again, during your Pigu class or sound therapy, it's very important for you to learn the technique. But if let's say because of your schedule or last minute meetings, you cannot attend the live classes, here are some recommendation by master. And also another question student asked is when should I consume the probiotics and enzyme? So the enzymes can be consumed before you attend the Pico technique, but it's not for everyone. Okay, enzyme is not for everyone. For example, if let's say you do not have constipation, you can defecate normally on a daily basis, then you do not need to take enzyme before your class. The only thing that everyone needs to consume is probiotics after, remember, after your pico session. Because after your pico therapy, once you rebalance the good and bad bacteria within your intestine or within your stomach, you can take probiotics. Because after taking probiotics at that point of time, your body can easily absorb or easily produce these good bacteria to rebalance the good and bad bacteria within your body. So hence probiotics is best taken, and if you can just buy it, can is easily available everywhere. You can just buy and consume it after your class. And how to eat, how much to eat, master will mention it during your pico class. The reason why master mentioned it now is because master worried that because there are certain students who tends to be very anxious. So hence he will say, oh, I heard who and who that you must eat enzyme or probiotics, and because of anxiety or nervousness you consume too early or you consume too much or you consume it incorrectly. So hence it will not be good for you. So during your class, okay, master will mention when is the best time to eat and how much to eat. And another question from the students is whereby, no, during your PICO process, okay, can I still consume my medication? So you do not need to worry because during your PICO technique, you can still consume your medication. For example, your high blood pressure, your diabetes, your blood sugar pill, everything can be consumed as usual. Why? Because during your pico technique it's not empty stomach, because the main concern with the students is empty stomach. Because during the pico technique you still consume some food, it's just that you eat less, so you can just take your medication as usual. So this time around, we have the replay because a 1 month replay time for the students after your class to attend it. If let's say you miss the class, so you do not need to worry too much about the schedule, because if let's say because of last minute schedule that you cannot join during the live class, then you can just watch the replay video. Because one of the benefits of joining the live classes is because you practice or you do the program together with everyone. Because when you practice together with everyone, you can get you have advantage of you don't feel alone, and then you can gain a lot of faith because you see a lot of feedback from the other students or your classmates who has different results during the time of practice. So if let's say you cannot make it for the live classes, you can just watch the replay, because the replay will be available for you for 1 month after your class, so you don't need to worry. And additionally, because the textbook now is really very detailed, so even if you do not have the replay video, through reading this uh, textbook is already enough for you. Okay, you can already understand. Can you imagine last time when we first learned the Pigu technique, there are actually no textbook at all, only 1 or 2 pieces of paper with some notes, that's it. Then we just blindly attend the Pigu session. But right now, everything, all of these materials are provided, and not only provided but very detailed, very detailed to the students. It's provided detailedly, very detailed in detail to the students. And previously last time we do not have anything, but yet the result is also very good. So that's why you don't need to think too much, you don't need to worry too much, because master herself, okay, is actually one of the best, okay, one of the best qigong master in the available in the market. Okay, master is actually very proud of this, because master actually put in a lot of effort in preparing her classes. Whatever scenarios that that you can think of, or that even if you cannot think of, master has already prepared for you. Okay, whether or not those future incidents or anything that might happen, master has already think of it and provided in the class. So you do not need to worry too much when you attend class from master. So again, for those of you who worry that you cannot no, you have to fast during Pigu, do not need to worry, because you can eat. Please eat. In fact, please eat. Okay, so please make sure to attend the class properly to truly learn from master. Okay, because practicing Pigu, okay, again, practicing Pigu technique, the diet is just a supplement to the technique. The main priority, no matter how, again, is to practice the technique. You achieve such result because you practice the technique together with the Pigu diet. Okay, so this is the schedule for the upcoming Pigu class. So you don't need to worry too much about this schedule, because this schedule will be posted online in your group chat. So your instructors themselves, okay, will actually remind you in the group chat regarding this schedule, so you do not need to worry about the schedule. And of course, additionally, even if you miss it, there are actually 30 days of replay time for you to rewatch the video, because this time around we have a lot of students from Europe and America, so hence that's why the replay period is actually longer this time around. So of course, for those of you who are going for minor, okay, during the class, okay, certain, for those students who have a certain condition, okay, special, these are called special condition, whereby you need to take special attention. So for those particular students, you don't need to worry too much, because during the time of class, okay, during the class, master will mention, and you just need to take note at that point of time. And additionally, as long as master still accept you for accept your registration for the class for Pigu and sound therapy, means you are eligible to join the class. Your condition is eligible to join the class, unless you have a very special condition whereby you must share with master or your instructor before you register for the class. Other than that, you can just register and join the class as you usually do. So again, okay, master recommends you to actually do a checkup after your PICO class. Why? Because a lot of these problems with your intestine or colons can actually be detected, especially after you conclude your PICO session. So hence that's why master recommends you to go for a checkup. Okay, a checkup on your abdomen and your intestines after your PICO session, because certain condition when detected early can be treated easily even without operation and through some medication, and you can immediately prevent it from getting worse in the future. Or for example, you can go for some ultrasound. So ultrasound is actually comfortable and it's not painful at all. So you can just through go for ultrasound or some scans to actually detect your, if let's say you have any problems with your stomach, your intestines. So hence, even if you have, it's actually good. Why? Because you detect it early before it evolve and becomes colon cancer or stomach cancer. So hence that's why this is also one of the benefit of practicing Pigu. Why? Because you can prevent this illness from happening. And even if let's say you have it right now, or when no illness is still hidden at a very young stage, you can detect it and prevent it from getting more severe in the future. So please make sure to go for checkup after your Pigu session. So instructor Yuhua is saying is that through her experience and some students sharing, during the time when you practice your Pigu, you actually defecate a lot of things that you will not imagine coming out from your stools. For example, you defecate out foam, bubbles, or you defecate out slimy things, very sticky and slimy things from your stool. So besides defecating your normal feces, your normal poop, so these are the feedback of the students, whereby some female even has a discharge coming out from their poop. So dear students, although through just this Pico technique and also the sound therapy, although is to improve the connection of your gut and brain, but it can actually also helps you to cleanse a lot of those impurities within your blood and also your intestines, those no those toxins which is actually deeply hidden between the corners of your intestine, because as you know that our intestine is actually very long and it has a lot of corners. So hence a lot of these impurities are actually stuck in the corners of our intestines. So hence it's very dirty. So hence once you practice the especially the Piku technique, you're able to cleanse your intestines from these impurities, which is deeply latched onto your intestine. So hence, that's why during that time when you defecate, besides the stools, which is very smelly and then very dark in colored, some will have bubbles, some will have some will have a very slimy stool, some might even have charge, because these are all impurities which is stuck within your intestine. So don't worry too much. In fact, congratulations, because you are able to expel all of these impurities from your body. Because can you imagine if these impurities are now expelled from your body, what will happen to it in the future? It will slowly evolve, and in the late stages, it will become cancer. So at the end of the day, so master's advice is don't worry too much. Okay, don't worry too much. This is very different compared to your normal essential causes. because when master was preparing this techniques, master has already thought of a different sensation of students. So especially for those of you who has already attend the essential courses, okay, you can truly feel the difference after you practice the Liu Yin and Pigu. So thank you everyone, and we shall meet in class in the near future. Thank you everyone. Hi, this is actually a sharing from a student from Taiwan. So this is her first time joining the Pico technique. So she had just concluded her 8 days of Pico session. So of course this time around her weight was actually successfully reduced and her waistline was also slimmer. So during the Pico process this time on the in the third day, her vision actually becomes brighter because a lot of the other students are sharing that no they are able to defecate more, but after her third day of practice she feels that no her stools is normal, not much increase, but she no longer have those gas coming out, nose burping, and then because previously she has problem with her stomach whereby she tends to burp a lot. And on the fourth day onwards, actually she can see her complexion starts to change for you know, her complexion starts to shine. Before that, okay, her complexion is actually very pale, gray and pale. And she also felt a change in her emotion. She rarely gets angry. She's more calmer. And one of the changes that she feel after Pico therapy is within the sixth day. After the sixth day of practice, she found that waist is actually slimmer. So recently her company has an activity. So during the activity when she wear one of the pants provided by the company, she noticed that her usual size no longer fit her because it's too big. So now she is actually slim. Her waistline has actually slimmed down. So within this 5 to 8 days, till even today, so right now is after about 14 days after her practice, she no longer has burping issues, and she recently also went to the Chinese sensei, and after taking the pulse, the Chinese sensei also told her that her condition actually improved a lot. And of course the flexibility of her body also improved, especially after her sound therapy practice. So good evening everyone. I am a revision student. So during the first time when I attended Pigu, okay, I did not have any big changes. So this time around, I joined as a revision student, so to see whether or not I can improve uh, better this time around during the second session. But because this is the second time, so hence her preparation was much better, you know, before the first session previously before she attended the class. And this time around, she's more clear of what she's doing, especially in her practice when, while listening to the music because it's her second time around. Because in the past 2 years, she wants to actually reduce her weight and reduce her waistline. But regardless of how much food she reduce or what kind of sports she does, she cannot reduce her weight. But this time around, because of a session uh, Pigu technique, she actually reduced her weight by about 3 kg. No, for about 4 kg, and her waistline actually got slimmer by about 3 cm. She felt that one of the biggest changes after her Pigu, although last time fiercely she practiced Pigu every day, she still feels a bit down, and to the point where she drink coffee is no, it cannot help anymore. This time around, after her Pigu, her condition actually improved a lot. So hence she is practicing along with a master's guidance, whereby in 1 year's time you have to do two times of Pigu. One is a small Pigu and one is the normal or major Pigu. So this is actually a very simple and a very happy program. So don't worry too much about it. Hi everyone, I'm Jenny. And before her Pigu class, I heard that the weight can be reduced and waistline can also be reduced. So during the Pigu session, one of the biggest happiness is the first 2 days of Pigu, which is during the preparation phase. Okay, usually last time, okay, she actually eat full her normal quantity, but before her class or during the first 2 days of the class, she only eats 70%. But even when she eats 70%, she don't feel hungry. In fact, she felt better. Then after her Pico session, she felt one of the biggest changes is she know her intestines better, and she knows the importance of food. Okay, so since now she knows the importance of the gut, in fact the gut is actually our second brain. So hence right now she tends to know the importance of diet, and she eats more healthy food and don't eat too full. She eats 70% full. So before Piku, one of her biggest wish is previously her diet is actually quite bland, and she control her diet. So she thought herself that no, my stomach condition might be good, but she just wants to slim down slightly more, okay, a bit more, and to do a cleansing of her intestines. So during Piku, one of the surprise is from the preparation phase, she noticed that her body weight actually starts to go down and her waistline is getting slimmer, and her defecation is all very good. Okay, she can defecate well, and she can just go through the whole pico process comfortably without any problems. One of the biggest changes is no, she slimmed down, and no, she looks better. So after pico, one of the biggest changes is number one, she lost 2.2 kg of weight, and she slimmed down by 3.5 cm her waistline, and her sense of taste and smell is actually more sensitive now. And number four, she felt more flexible, her overall flexibility improved. And the fifth is also the biggest advantage. So previously she has a disease whereby she has to consume medication once every 7 to 8 days, else she will feel very itchy or the skin will peel. So after Pico session, it has been already 2 weeks. And during these 2 weeks, she no longer needs to take that particular medication, and yet she no longer feels the itchiness or the peeling of the skin. So this is the biggest advantage that she got after her Piku session.